It was hard with money, dude. I could have used you. It really makes it. My day off is all fucked up now, so thanks. Let's get some stuff done. Hey, how you guys doing? Good, how are you? Oh, we don't,
Hello, we're live.
Don't help this dude.
We're gonna do a setup on a fake IBANEZ gem built in China, and I've had this guitar here at the shop for a few days. I've been busy doing other stuff, and we're using the Paradigm Ernie Ball, what are they, titanium strings on this instrument. It's tuned to drop C with the Floyd Rose system. Now I'll just kind of go over what I've done thus far on this instrument. I pulled all of the frets. The fretwork is some of the worst fretwork I've ever seen on a guitar. Pulled all of the frets out of the guitar and glued them in. Frets were popping up out of the fingerboard while I was playing it. Literally, I was playing this instrument, and right here about the 6th, 7th fret, this fret popped up out of there while I was playing the guitar. And the owner was complaining about the 22nd, 23rd frets and the 15th and 16th frets. And we did a level on that, and then discovered that the frets were not glued in place, probably because the slots were cut too wide. So I did a complete, basically, you could call it a refret if you want, but I've gone over every square inch of this guitar to make damn certain that these frets are as good as what Steve Vai has on his guitars. This is a gem copy with some cool lights. Does all that. Now, furthermore, up here at the headstock, the locking nut, the holes that were drilled to mount the locking nut from the bottom, like a typical old Ibanez, the holes were not drilled in the correct orientation, and this nut was sitting off to this side of the fingerboard by about 2 to 3 millimeters. And in all of my diligence to get that thing to move over, in order to make that happen and get it exactly where I would want it, I've run out of the ability to destroy the neck to get this thing to position correctly. So this is in the wrong location by about 2 millimeters that direction on the fingerboard. So we're going to have to work with that being imperfect. I polished the frets down to 2000 grit, and then ran my deer antler polish on these. I have rounded off all of the edges of the frets. It had cheese grater frets and frets popping up out of here, and strings would get hung up underneath the frets. Now that is unable to happen. So I've done that. Got the string tree up here above the nut on, so now when I tune this up, it should hold true. Got the wires in here fixed. So that's everything I've done so far. So we're gonna let's see. We're gonna go ahead and get some strings on this. And this guy, the guy that owns this guitar, does know how to do proper string changes on his own guitars. So we'll go through this again on a Floyd Rose. Cut the entire winding off of the string. Cut that whole thing off. A little extra if you choose. That's how you properly cut a string for a Floyd Rose type impregnated guitar. Oh boy, now we got, okay, so now let's get this going. Get these strings in here, and there we go. Now I do my best to get them centered on the nut slot. And you'll notice I keep the bar in here. That allows me to tilt this whammy bar so that I get it where I can work on it real easily. That's my method. You don't necessarily have to do that, but I've found over the years of owning Floyd Rose impregnated guitars that it's a good way to do it. So now I've got that string, and again, tightening this down is not an Arnold Schwarzenegger moment. Hey Panda Cat, what's up? How are you? Thanks for being here today. I'm going to go ahead and also, when I'm doing this, I'm going to remove these string locks up here at the locking nut. Usually just saves you a little bit of time having to wrestle with fishing the string through the little slot that's there. Boy, I've had a busy day so far. Let's see, I sold a TS9 and fixed a USB port all within the first half hour of work today. And the guy already called me and said he loves his TS9. That was really good to hear. That's the #1 probably selling guitar pedal of all time. I'm going to raise this up just a bit. Give them both the same amount of turns. This way I can get my string in here. There we go. And this string tree just needs to push down ever so slightly on the back side of the nut. So maybe I'll bring my camera up here to this end of the guitar to show you what I'm talking about there. Where's my string winder? There it is, right in front of my face. Oh, and I forgot one other thing I got to do here before I put that string on. All right. It's not, I don't know if this is epoxy. I believe it's acrylic. I can't tell you because I didn't build it, and I don't have the specs on it. So I'm tightening up the nuts on these machine heads. They're all really loose, which is common. And this little trick right here, let me bring you up here and get you pointed at what I'm doing. And you know, I realize that I don't have there's no women in my video or bathing suits or anything like that, so I know that it's not nearly as entertaining as some live streams, but this is all about education and learning to work on your own instrument. I do it for a living, and I've built a very good reputation with the work that I do. And so you can learn how to properly set up your guitar or string up your guitar. So that's what my streams are all about. I don't have the added luxury of and attractiveness that some do. So I don't expect the same amount of viewers, nor do I care too much about that, but it's nice to be able to share my my knowledge with folks. I enjoy it, and I'm happy to help. All right, so here we go again with the A string. I do the same thing on these as I do with a non-locking nut. I go 2 wraps, poke the string through the hole over the top of the wraps, and pull it taut, and then tighten it down. And I'm putting tension on the bridge end of the string. Now this is going to be tuned to dropped C, so I need to remember that when I'm setting up this instrument. Hey, my knees hurt. Gonna work on your own bass. Good. Good for you. I love to hear it when guys are working on their own instruments. It's really good if you're a player to know how to do a lot of this stuff, because it'll save your butt at some point when you really want to play and something goes haywire. I hope that some of the information that I've shared will get used for positive stuff in the guitar world. Forgive me for not having the attractive lips and hips that you guys like to watch. I know men are very attracted to that, which is why female channels typically have, you know, at this level of the game, I would probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 60,000 subscribers, but I don't, because I'm a male and I'm not as entertaining as watching a set bounce around on the screen. I get it. But hopefully my knowledge is helpful. And I'm not aware of too many female guitar repair shows. I try to share the wealth and not just watch only men, because like, I wrote a song recently about that, kind of interesting. How in some cases, especially in the United States, men think they're more important than women, and then we've taken the rights away from, or because they're a woman, they've lost their rights. And I'm kind of thinking out loud right now, I guess, just to kind of keep some entertainment factor in the okay, come on. There we go.
Oh yeah, it was Marshall, but let me just see if he's on the other line or if he's free.
What do you got?
Jim from, I think it's Jim over from.
Oh yes.
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 I'm gonna let Marshall talk to you here.
Hang
in a
on.
second. He's holding a tool and he don't want to drop it. Just 1 second.
Okay. Nope, I'm good, Jim. Hello, thanks for calling. Did you get the? Oh, geez. Oh. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh. Uh-huh. So we're immune to paying sales tax, correct, for Washington? Okay, yeah. Because all I have to do is show my Oregon driver's license if I buy stuff over there, and it forgives me. Yeah. Oh, is that no longer legit?
What is the guitar?
So
That's a custom guitar.
taxation without representation, right?
What is it?
It's yeah.
Oh, is that one right there?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
When he's off the phone, he'll give
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. That's well, Mike's not in the shop this week, so if we need cash, I'll have to talk with Chris, and or I can go get cash out of my bank account. I don't mind that. Yeah, that's the thing that we're concerned about. Money's not an issue. I can go get money out of my account, so that's not going to be a problem. Are you kidding me? I'm loaded, Jim. Right? Wonderful. All right, thanks for calling, brothers. Great talking to you. All right, thanks. Bye. Okay.
Hey,
Well,
Marshall, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Doing good.
Excellent.
right. All right, buddy.
All right, your custom instrument is all set up and done.
Borrow a pick.
Whoa. Groovy lights.
Yes, and let's plug you in back here and
Okay.
let you have your way with that guitar.
Okay.
I want you to play it for a bit too.
Okay.
Let me. I got a guitar cable. Here we go.
How do you turn on your lights, Marshall?
A little toggle switch right there.
This one
in
right here?
between. Yep.
Oh, that's bright.
That's cool.
But I've seen that before.
That's awesome.
My very first gig in the early 70s.
You had one?
No, I didn't. I was a bass player, and the guitar player had a Rickenbacker color organ guitar.
What do you like to use? Do you like a lot of distortion? Or?
Uh, Anyway, you know, so I don't know what the story is on that amp, but she said the last words were her, well, give me what you can. So,
Well, the thing is, like you said, the market for the Showmans is not as great as.
no. If it was a twin or something, even the twins aren't really selling just because
No,
they weigh 1,000 pounds.
it's the ones that are supers and smaller, you know.
Yeah.
But the ones that are really hot right now are, of course, the Vibrolux reverbs.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I use on my Kemper.
Yeah, that's
as
the
a
real.
profile.
That's the real thing, man.
Yeah, I like those. And I had a chance to buy one up at Boogeyman Music in Ellensburg, and I didn't do it. I should have done it. All tubed.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have
I can't
those.
remember what it was.
So it's from a Toshiba. I probably can go online and see if I can get a replacement card from them. Huh?
Yeah, maybe. If not, come in like a week or so and we'll probably have it.
Okay.
I think we just ran out of them.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep. You have a great rest of your day.
As far as value, it's the best year that she wants to buy. 68 is the best year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not valuable. But they're
Given the fact that somebody
with
else
about
fires
10
out.
minutes worth of work,
Basically, what I'm
good
seeing
sharp
is
carriage cutters,
tone
and
for, I
soldering
believe
iron, you make them back to the old
did
circuit.
orient
Really?
this
Uh-huh.
to be that
And they are very, very good amps.
and then volume for the neck pickup. And this is the volume for the bridge. And that's where stuff gets a little funky. Where the pickup selector switch
All the way
is
through the 70s.
a little bit funky, but I think
none of the
the
super
uniqueness of it might suit you. I think it's something that you should probably just play with and figure out what you really like.
and their best.
I'm guessing that typically you're either going to be in the neck position or the bridge
It's
position.
That's what you go. But you're on.
I'm just going to turn you loose in here,
Less than $100.
play it, use the bar.
So what's this bottom one, Marshall? Is that?
But if you have like an old
That's the
brown,
tone
you
control
know,
for the neck
old
pickup, I
brown
believe.
deluxe, okay, this
You
is
switch it all the way up.
It makes you feel pretty sick.
Now,
Yeah.
so it's neck. Yeah. So these are stacked tone controls.
When they're working on their brain, there's bonds that don't want.
All right. You just have fun.
This thing is.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. You know, I apologize. I'm going to be interrupted a bit today because I've got clients coming in picking up guitars, and this gentleman is playing through an amp built in 1943. Oh, by the way, that was Jim McGuinn on the phone I was talking with. Really cool. We're buying a guitar from him. Okay, let's keep going. I want to keep making progress, get the strings on this thing, and see if this guitar will actually work. And I want to thank you all for hanging with me today. I know this is stuff that you guys see on a lot of YouTube channels, but this is kind of a special situation because this guitar was really messed up when I received it. And the young man who owns this is usually pretty darn good about working on his own instruments. It was really kind of shocking that he brought his guitar in to let me work on it. Trying to be able to. Just about done getting strings on her. So cut the whole ball end off and do things proper here. really like the design of this Floyd. This is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I gotta have it.
All the reverse, all the rim, all the, yeah.
The guy that I put that job, he's,
Yeah, Mike does
check
too.
out our YouTube, there's a website on YouTube, that's our Facebook. We got my phone. But anyway, I've told what few people I know,
So we're going to tune this to drop C, which the Floyd Rose is already adjusted completely on this thing, so I should just be able to tune it up and it'll sit where it's supposed to.
you know what I like about that more than anything? I was tuning it and having to have it get back out. I love the smell of this. Well, it's the real like old coffee.
Then the John, I think that's the bomb. Where outside the warehouse at that time, you know, if you ever see one of those, where she goes and it has a smell,
Real pleasant. Everybody had these big banners.
What do you think, man? Is that thing working for you?
Remember, it's common repair on twins.
So you took the little
It's
shim out of there.
Yeah. It's been long enough. I don't remember exactly everything that I did on that one, but
Someone is plugging it back.
I took that shim out, and I think I used a different angle shim in there. I probably can't see it.
Solder, and then they inevitably plug them back in.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Put that thing.
Because the labeling is real apparent, plain, you know, they should have let, you know.
Yes.
go.
There it is.
And,
Try to make those invisible. That's
well,
what.
yeah, sure.
So
So it
these,
did have a little angle. What's that?
these fine too, right?
Yeah.
So once I get it tuned, then I don't really have to do
Because they're so heavy, people are like bumping into
That
that
is
lower
true.
here.
Either way you tune it does not matter. In fact, with these type of machine heads, those are almost unnecessary. So, but they do allow you to make really, really subtle tuning changes really easily. But they're pretty.
The heads are hard
You
to
give
get.
one of those a turn and you'll know you turned it.
Pretty good.
They do react very quickly.
You tell me a fun story.
And that thing, man, it's got a boatload of Allen key sizes and screws and dude. But once it's done, it's done. And the only thing that I might recommend is that when you wear these strings out, hopefully in a couple days from now, you can clean the hell out of it. But they make a set of strings for tailors that have these windings soldered. Have you ever seen those or heard of them? They actually solder them because it's been noted that's sitting, those windings are sitting right on the cam where everything moves. So the potential is for those to cause strings to go out of tune a little prematurely or maybe more often. I didn't notice it with this one that much, and I played the hell out of this thing in my apartment. It was up in my place for a whole week. And I played I played it a lot.
So you recommend those type of strings?
Yeah,
Do
and they make a special set for them that you can buy. These are Ernie Ball 9s, I believe. This is tuned standard. Yeah, they're 9-gauge Ernie Balls, if I'm correct. And
Slinkies are 10.
what's that?
Regular Slinkies are 10.
Yeah, that's a 10-gauge.
Okay, so this is a 9.
Yeah, I believe I used 9s on. Yes, I did. Because it's what I've found with whammy bar type guitars, Floyd Roses and Kahlers. Those seem to be number one what the big famous, the successful musicians in our world use primarily. And I use them on my own guitars with whammy bars, and they just work. And it is kind of strange if I'm playing a Les Paul with 10s on it to grab a guitar with 9s on it. The feel is a little bit different, so you kind of got to prepare yourself for that. You know, if you're at a gig and you're playing this guitar and you grab a Les Paul with heavier, it's really not breaking the universe type difference, but there will be a slight difference. It takes a couple seconds to get there. Yeah. You sound like you're playing the hell out of the thing.
Got a good bluesy sound to it.
Yeah, that neck pickup is. And if you switch it over to the bridge, you'll notice the noise that happens. There is no getting rid of that. But that is a hot single coil. Yeah. And what you're doing right now by throwing knobs and seeing how stuff sounds, that's how you're going to make the decision for you. This is all about you. What you like the best and whether you want to alter anything.
Well, I'm mainly playing bass these days, but I'm playing guitar with 3 or 4 songs, and I'm using a different guitar for every song.
Yeah.
Because I've got all these guitars, and I never play the goddamn thing, so it's like, shit, I'm going to set up my own thing. You don't sell those, like, multiple guitar stand things?
I don't. I might have one Hercules triple stand in stock. Those are my humble opinion the best stands that money can ever buy, and I won't put my guitars in anything but those or a wall hanger. Even those stacked, you know, you line them up side by, those things are dangerous, dude.
Yeah, right.
Knock one over and you just chip the paint on a really nice guitar. I've used them, and that's just experience talking. I didn't like that possibility when you're setting a guitar back in there. Dink!
Yeah.
Whereas a Hercules triple stand, every guitar has its own space. When you put a guitar on there, you'd have to try to hit the one next to it. They're expensive.
I think the one I've got's a double stand. But I got my bass too, so I want to have all the guitars on one stand. What are those running for?
I have to look them up, and I need to see if I even have one in stock. But they're going to be close to $200, and it'll hold 3 guitars. I bought one. I have one in my apartment where my guitars that I play or am playing right now are all on that. I've got a Les Paul, my SG, and my Strat. So if I need a sound, I got it. And then the rest of mine I have on wall hangers. And then in my band, typically we have 2 guitars and a bass. So we've got a triple stand up there, and then we typically have a spare guitar that if I break a string, I can grab it, or if our other guitar player breaks a string, he can grab it, and we have an extra guitar hanging there on it. Then when we're done playing, we take the spare guitar off, put it and lay it on the floor. It can't fall any further than that. And then hang our working horse guitars. So I do highly recommend. Again, they're not cheap. Let me look one up for you. Hey guys, sorry, I'm going to be moving away here today again. I'm at work, so welcome to my work day, and I'm sorry if it gets a little bit drawn out with respect to me not doing something. Hey Preston, welcome. Epiphonium. Well, thank you for that compliment, Epiphonium. I appreciate that. My knees are, we can't see the tuning pegs. Oh, I'm sorry. My camera guy drinks a lot. I promise. You know, Panda Cat, we do allow people to play Stairway to Heaven in here, but I don't think this gentleman will do it. He says he's a really cool dude. Hugh, welcome, brother. Hello. Thanks for saying hi. Let's see. I got to look something up for. Let's see. What are those things? Oh, Hercules. Let me see what I can do. Oh. Okay. Hey, we'll make some excitement for your light show. Hey, Stu.
She's not in here.
So the triple Hercules stand, I will recommend. I endorse that company. They're gonna run you about $150 if you order one. You can probably get one on Amazon for $120. But it'll hold 3 guitars, and it is. I had, and it's just a true story, playing at Bud Jackson's right down the street here 10 years ago. My band was in there. I had 2 Les Pauls and my SG on that stand, my Strat, like a dumbass, right? And we had invited a whole bunch of people up on stage playing a tune, and all these girls started coming up, and everybody's dancing on the stage. Boom, my guitar, all 3 guitars got knocked off the stage and onto the floor. And of course, I'm playing a song, so I couldn't stop, but the moment we got done, I walked over there, and I'm like, fuck. I got broken headstocks, and not one of them even got a ding on it. But the thing landed on the floor, and the way that the Hercules stands hold those headstocks, they have these little arms that come over and protects the guitar from actually, so I think that the impact of any of them I have had, I was really lucky, but all of them survived. So,
Yeah, I think that's the brand I've got. It's just a 2-stand. I mean, I've got a couple just single stands too. I think I'm going to make that work for now.
Okay. And that's also a good plan, but again, I will not put any of my instruments in a horseshoe stand. That is, you're asking for a guitar to get broke. And we use them here at the shop, and most people use them because they're real affordable. If your ankle gets tangled on your cord, you will break your guitar when it's sitting in that stand. I guarantee it. It's almost every time. And asked me how I know. I've got an SG. I've glued the headstock back on 4 or 5 times, and I ain't kidding. So Hercules stands would save that because of their position, the feet, the way that they're held. And I do have single Hercules stands, and I mean this is a very unique, special instrument. You don't want to get hurt. If it gets busted, yeah, there's no other guitar like it in the world. So I highly recommend, and I don't know, I'm going to pose a question to some folks that I'm online right now. They're listening to you play, by the way. But I'm going to ask some guys what they recommend, and we'll see what kind of feedback we get. I got 5 or 6 really good guitar techs online with me right now, so I'll see what they have to say. We'll offer you up some advice, maybe. So guitar stands, opinions on guitar stands. he's wanting to get something that he can put 4 or 5 possibly guitars in, which the side mounted rack type ones would work for that. But what's anybody have an opinion on that stuff? Epiphonium, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad I could distract you, Preston. That's fun. Let me point you back down here. Yeah, Hugh, I'm recommending those, but he's talking about wanting to put several guitars in it, so don't flop around. Okay. Yeah. Scrap wood, yeah. Okay. Getting a lot of feedback from guys, and everybody's endorsing Hercules stands. They're expensive, and they don't make them that you can put like 4 or 5 guitars in a row.
Right.
But the feedback that I've gotten about those are, I don't like recommending people buy them. This is from a tech in Scotland and another
Kind of
gentleman.
like dominoes, if one knocks over, it's going to knock the rest.
Yeah. So you have to be very careful and conscientious if you're using one of those. You can use one and never damage a guitar by all means. I mean, that's certainly possible, but you know, I always think worst case scenario, because never forget who you're messing with. And in my life, if it can go wrong, it absolutely will, undoubtedly. So I remove all possibilities. I mean, I have 6 guitar cables at every gig, 8 guitar tuners, and 14 guitars, you know.
Yeah.
They'll all get broke.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and the other thing is that guys have recommended that if you really want something like that, and there's a guy on here named Preston, he's up in Canada. I say he's up in Canada. He's actually down in Canada because he's actually south of us in Canada from where we're sitting right now, up near the Great Lakes.
Okay.
There's a little finger that goes down.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, he built one himself that, and I've seen it on his videos where he's got, I don't know, 6 or 8 guitars in this thing, and he used foam, where those foam, they take them to pool and blow sticks, and he used that as padding on the bars.
Oh, there's the
And,
other phone.
I mean, so a lot of guys are recommending, if you really want something, engineer it and build it yourself versus buying one. So I don't know how, you know, so a lot of different ideas on that, which I expected, but I recommend, you know, try and limit yourself to having maybe 3 guitars at a gig, and get a Hercules triple stand. The base of them is pretty big, so they do take up a little bit of space on a small stage. But I've knocked that thing. I didn't. The women or whoever, somebody knocked mine over, and they survived. So, and I'm using the same one that got knocked over at Bud Jackson's, sitting in my living room right now, which this guitar hung in for. That one has started. It's 12, 13 years old. So that one has started. There's like holes that they notch in it, and you can.
Yeah.
That has started to get worn out, just because of the massive amount of use. Once in a while, I'll hang a guitar in it, and it'll go. it'll drop one notch.
Oh, good.
So
Is that the one where you put the guitar in and things come out?
yeah, they actually mine you set it. It looks just like this, but you set it in there, and this thing drops down a hair, and it's got these two arms that go. Whoa.
Okay, that's the same.
You ain't
kind.
coming.
That's the same.
You have to pick the guitar. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to pick
So
the
that's
guitar
all.
up to get it out of there. And if it knocks over, that stays closed, so the guitar can't physically hit the floor. Whereas on one of those, I don't care. I despise those stamps. You know, and of course, I had your guitar sitting in that one today. Is everything feeling
Yeah, it feels good.
nice to you?
So
Yeah.
what's the story with these extra holes?
Those are
Different position.
those adjust. Hang on here. One of them adjusts the tilt. This one, I believe, adjusts the tilt back here.
Oh, okay.
So it's doing this way, and the other one is the tension of the spring.
Okay. I just wondered if that was underneath.
No, that bar screws in there, and that's what it does. And the bar is really nice because it kind of gets tensioned up when it gets where you want it, so you can position it
Yeah, sure.
out of the way. And
What's up, Joey? Not much.
I would say now I did go to when I was setting that up. I went to come on out. That I went to his. He has 3 videos that are very in depth in how to adjust one of those, and it was really nice to brush up on that because there are a bunch of set screws and things on that do really subtle things, and so it's very player oriented, so you can make it just super soft, or you can tighten it up so that you really got a mean to push down on it.
Okay.
Oh.
And
nice.
it's kind of
But
like
the
this
question is,
because you can't
is it
get like on
reversible?
this one you adjust the spring tension and
So
you
in
can,
other-
you
so in
know,
other
or
words,
add a couple
one in,
springs and
two
make
out.
it
Right.
feel
Two
different.
in,
On that
one out.
one you tighten an Allen
See if it
key in
says.
it or a hex key in it. So those things are
That's
very
one is
adjustable.
2 in, 1 out.
The one flaw I think in those is what I was pointing out to you, the string windings going over the cam.
Right.
But
So these are only balls that you have on there.
yep, yes.
So do you have those other strings that you were recommending?
I don't. Yeah. I didn't order any, but there's another gentleman that lives here in town, and that was who I contacted about that,
Usually these are.
because he has the same Kaler tremolo, and he's like, use these strings,
Although it doesn't
and he
say.
personally went through and soldered the windings on them himself.
Really?
And other guys like Stu said you can use even a drop of super glue can be helpful on them. It'll keep them from, just would set it down and put a little spot of super glue. I didn't do any of that stuff because I already
that's
had the
what I wouldn't
strings
trust
on
it.
it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
it, and it
it's
didn't
solid.
seem to be a problem.
Right,
that.
right.
So I'm better. I feel leaving well enough alone is good. But I wanted to bring that to your attention. But they do specifically make a string for a Kaler tremolo system that has literally
What's the
solder.
brand? Is it Caleb?
I think this. Let me look those up. Altoid box. Hey Charlie, what's happening? Okay. I'm just seeing. Okay. Let me look these strings up. And it may be something that you never have to worry about, but it was just the one flaw that I had heard so much about. EVH Premium. Whammy parts, Kaler. Here's a short list of strings of personal record. Okay, rotor sound. Tremolos. Cheap strings and tremolos don't mix. Let's see. can't remember. Gosh, I can't remember where I saw the. I don't think they're like Kaler brand strings.
You know, I don't really see me using that a lot, so I'm not sure that's going to be a huge issue. But
Yeah,
if, if you're hammering that thing all the time, I mean, I could see it. But.
Well, my experience playing this guitar, it was when I initially put the strings on it and stretched it out and was using the whammy bar and like dive bombing and pulling up on it and doing all the stuff that they can do.
Sure.
I was noticing that the treble E string was going flat quite often. And so probably the fact that I played it as much as I did, which if you added all that time together, it was probably close to an hour, like sitting there playing straight, retuning. I fell out and I'd be soloing a little bit and I could hear it was out, and I'd, in the middle of a song, I'd adjust it and finally settled in. So my fear is I don't want you to have to deal with that.
Right.
But again, you know, if you're maybe the next time you put strings on it, just use the normal Ernie Ball slinkies.
Yeah, I need to get a couple sets of those.
Okay, yeah, and take a soldering gun and just solder the ends. Get the string good and hot. The solder will stick to it, or just a little drop of CA glue. I use this stuff all day long, every day. You wouldn't believe how much of this shit's in guitars around here, but this is it's extra thick, so you can put it on something and it ain't gonna run all over everything. So on a
So
string.
you're just putting that on the string before you put it on.
Yeah.
Let it dry.
Let me see if I. So, what you would do?
All the way along that. Gotcha.
Right here where the winding happens. That's all it does. And this stuff. So, I didn't try this because. Those things seem to be set. You were in there playing it and whammying and doing stuff, and it didn't fall out of tune.
Yeah, right.
Right. But I've heard that this is a good method to use. This is just some fast dry.
Oh, fast dry stuff.
There. So now, you know. But you might try that when you put strings on it. It's the nature of the beast, and I want you to not have to. I don't know how often you're going to put strings on that, or how much you're going to be playing it. So it may be a year before you put new strings on that thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do recommend putting strings on more often than that. Because if you're only putting them on once a year, you're not playing enough.
Yeah,
but that's
sure.
my story,
Yeah.
and I'm sticking to it. So you might just try that. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary, but if when you do restring it, because it's not hard to put strings on that thing.
Yeah, right,
The
right.
balls, you don't have to cut them off and do all this
Yeah.
stuff. You might find that just doing it like you've always done it with every other guitar.
Well, they just slide right in that little.
They don't have to go in there in any particular orientation.
Right.
I think on yours, did I get them all? Yeah, they're all, sitting that.
Okay, sure.
That to me made sense, and that was not super easy to do. You got to really be patient putting strings on that
Really?
thing, get them to stay where they're supposed to stay. But and that guitar is, I think it's
I
after
like
it's
the
all
feel
said
of
and
it.
done.
It's more like a Telecaster, I think, isn't it?
It is.
Telecaster or Strat?
Shape-wise, yeah, it's definitely telly shaped. I'd like to. Can I play that thing once real quick before you
Yeah, sure.
take off? I don't want to keep you too long. If you got stuff you got to do. Let's see here. Where did that? Oh, I remember. I had a bunch of cables that
got a piece of paper.
Look at that one. That's kind of neat. Low profile, I like it. I gotta plug all my pedals in.
Okay.
Because if I don't have pedals, I suck.
What kind of pedals are you running?
This is a Buddha Zen drive, they call it the Zen Man. It's just an overdrive and a boost, which I almost never use the boost part of it. I just use the overdrive, and it has a pretty nice heavy overdrive
Right,
sound.
right.
So this allows me to take that little toy amplifier that I play through and make it
Push it up
sound
a little bit,
mean.
yeah.
And then I've got a delay pedal here that I'm always on, and then a looper. And I have to. Let me see where's. There we go. Plug this in. Yeah. Yeah, she's angry. Let me take this for a ride real quick. I just want to get one more little tickle. It's so cool to get to play such a unique guitar. The way it feels and everything. Yeah. Yeah, these Kahlers are pretty darn sweet. These things really do the. Modulated delay pedal. That pedal, I think, it has like eight or so different delay types in it. This one is a modulated delay, so the delays have a little bit of a chorus effect on them. I think I paid $40 for that pedal. That's a really cheap, but you can hear that kind of a chorusing effect.
Do we have to go pick up that guitar from
No, they haven't received it yet.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Chris. So I can like, I don't know how well this will work, but I'll just play something. Let's see. Have you used a looper pedal before?
Not really.
Oh man, dude, you should check this out.
So like practicing, you can do
Yeah.
rhythm thing and then.
Yeah, you can. Let's see. so cool because you can, if you create a song idea, you can loop it and you
Right,
don't
right.
forget it.
Yeah, sure.
You know, you step away or phone rings or something, or you're on your computer and then you go, oh God, what was?
What's that?
You just record it real quick and then answer your phone.
Right, sure.
You know.
So if you turn that off, then you turn it back on, it goes on the same. Does it store the different stuff in there?
It will save this forever until back end wears out. But I can do it.
So you can keep layering on
That ain't that the greatest. But you can also like delete the last pass, and it'll save. You can infinitely build loops up on these things.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, I mean, and they're really easy to use. The hardest part of them is really your timing. You've got to start and stop. Your timing. I teach guitar. Ask any of my students, what does Marshall say at every lesson? Timing is everything.
Yeah.
Play the wrong chord all night long, but as long as you play it in time, nobody will care much.
Yeah, right.
So these, and if you push and hold it, oh shit, that idea is gone forever. It's no longer there. You know, so yeah, these pedals, I don't know if I have any of these dittos in stock, but
Well, I've
man,
been thinking about getting one of those loopers. I've never really used one, but I think it would be helpful for sure.
I highly recommend. I use them here. I usually have one in my. I have one here, and I have one in my recording studio, and I always have one on my pedal board at gigs and stuff in case I come up with something and I can loop a thing all the way through a song. It just does the same thing over and over, and then you can turn it on and off at a gig, so you can add a layer. You know, as long as your drummer's timing is impeccable.
Right.
You know,
Huh.
it's tricky live. I always will caution, be very careful,
Yeah, I'm sure.
because you can imagine.
Oh,
But yeah, this thing, this guitar, I mean, it's fantastic. Really,
Great sound too. It plays.
a neat instrument and beautiful, and I love the weight. It's light, so very comfortable.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the problem I have. It's something too heavy. Even with my bass, it gets pretty heavy. But
Well,
I got the lightest one I could find that was
pick
decent.
pick this one up.
This guitar?
Pick that guitar up.
Holy shit, dude. No freaking way. Damn. That's crazy. What the hell?
I've had guys guess. We're guessing someplace between 15 and 18 pounds.
I'd say at least, yeah.
And I've had some
Wow.
people say that thing's got to be 20 pounds. Yeah, that ain't no joke, man.
Jesus. Well, you're gonna have to sell me one of those looper pedals.
You want to try one?
I don't know if I need to try it, but I definitely think.
Yeah, you can't. I don't know. Let me go see if I can.
See what you
I may
got.
have. I may have the exact same thing with a different name on the.
Something simple. I don't want a lot of freaking buttons and shit.
They don't
I just get confused. you know.
That's as simple as it gets. On those. And this is my normal routine for doing whammy bar stuff.
Oh, just put it in.
Put it in the case, and that gives you. Then it can't fall and
Yeah.
get lost somewhere.
Right.
You did not bring a strap in.
No, I didn't have a strap for that.
Okay. Do you need a strap?
No, I've got straps.
You got
I
it.
actually got one that my buddy that's playing in the band is coming up here someday.
This thing is set up with Dunlop locking.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, those are Dunlops. So the locking. Do you have some Dunlops at home?
No.
Keep an eye open for the guy.
I better get some.
Well, let me see. Hang on. Where?
I mean, My Les Paul Jr. and my bass have locking straps on them.
Okay. Let me see. I thought I have. That is definitely a good idea. I won't do a gig without locking.
I was playing my buddy's Les Paul one time at a gig, and some bitch fell off.
Fell
and I
off of you?
broke the fucking neck on that thing. That was my money for the gig.
I will not. I do not own a guitar without locking strap locks on them. I thought I had a spare set of those. Let me look over here on our shelf and see if I've got something, because I might have a spare set of those. Let me see.
See that? They almost all fell.
These are the strap locks that are on it, but given the fact that we don't have this outer part, unfortunately you have to buy a whole and if you bought like this set of them, Hey guys, I'm really sorry about not being too involved. I had this gentleman here, and so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream right now because I'm going to be busy for a bit longer. I may come back a little later on today and finish this guitar up. Thanks for hanging. Hope you all have a great day. Okay. I'm going to double check.
Yeah.